welcome to the Saturday Slam and Jam here on the Athletic NBA Daily. On today's show, we're doing the good, the bad, the what? And buckle up, everybody. It's Wizards Week. Josh Robbins is here to give you all his Wizards knowledge and to entertain you, let's be honest. And then we'll do some trivia. Before we get to Alex, I want to tell you about our friends who do an F1 podcast here on The Athletic. The F1 season reaches a dramatic climax this week. And for the first time since 2010, 3 drivers can still win the title. Follow all the build-up and all the fallout from the final Grand Prix in Abu Dhabi this weekend with The Race, wherever you get your podcast. Go check it out. It's good stuff. With me, as always, is my good friend, Alex Speers. Alex, please tell me what happened in the NBA this week.
Andrew, our top story this week is the situation in Milwaukee. After missing a 4-game stretch during which the Bucks went 0-4 and dropped as low as the 11th seed in the East, Giannis Antetokounmpo returned to the lineup this week. But unfortunately, the return of Giannis wasn't enough to avoid an embarrassing loss on Monday night to the Washington Wizards, who were drunk with power off their 2-week stint on the Wheel of Fandom. The loss to the Wizards immediately set off a series of reports about Giannis's future in Milwaukee. Shams Charania reported that Giannis and his agent had started conversations with the Bucks about his future, with a resolution expected within weeks. The Athletic's Eric Nehm and Sam Amick later reported that the Bucks downplayed that report, said that there had been no formal trade request. Brian Windhorst reported that Giannis did request a trade to the Knicks during the summer, however. Complicating matters, in the first few minutes of a game against Detroit, Giannis pulled up with a calf strain, an injury that is expected to keep him sidelined for another 3 to 4 weeks. The one bit of good news for Bucks fans this week is that the Bucks actually won that game against Detroit, 113-109, despite Giannis only playing 3 minutes. The Bucks are currently 10-13, 10th in the East. Now, from a player potentially asking to leave a franchise to a player being asked to leave, Chris Haynes reported late Tuesday night that the Los Angeles Clippers were sending future Hall of Famer Chris Paul home. Get out of here. The move came just days after CP3 had announced that this would be his final NBA season. Now, subsequent reporting from The Athletic's Sam Amick, Law Murray, and Joe Varden revealed that the reasoning behind the Clippers' dismissal of CP3 was essentially that Chris Paul was really annoying. Arguably the one thing that everyone knows about Chris Paul. Now, here's a fun Chris Paul stat from friend of the show, Law Murray. The Clippers have not had a losing season since acquiring Chris Paul in December 2011. And in fact, the other 29 teams have all had at least one losing season since the Clippers' last losing season in 2010-11.
Wow.
Now, unfortunately for the Clippers, that streak appears to be coming to an end, as the Clippers currently sit at 6-16, 13th in the West, though they did get a nice win in their first game post-CP3, a 115-92 win over the Hawks. Some other Clippers news this week, Joe Varden reported that, quote, multiple league sources said Clippers GM Lawrence Frank and his associates were on track to receive contract extensions, with one source saying that those extensions have been in the planning stages for a while. It hasn't happened yet, but it will. Boy,
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I hope they don't dilly-dally, Andrew, because I don't know if one franchise could survive the loss of both SGA and Lawrence Frank. Now, as everyone knows, the Clippers' poor play doesn't just affect them. It has league-wide ramifications because of the Clippers' first-round pick, which is owned by the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are currently on an 11-game winning streak with a 21-1 record. This week saw the return of All-Star Jalen Williams, who returned to the court for the first time following off-season wrist surgery. The Thunder still aren't whole, however, because J-Dub's first game back was also the first missed game for starting center Isaiah Hartenstein, who will be out for 2+ weeks due to a right soleus strain. But if the Thunder win their next 3 games against Dallas, Utah, and Phoenix, they will tie the 2015-16 Warriors record after 25 games at 24-1. But those 3 games may be tougher than they initially appear, dear listener, because Dallas and Utah are 2 bad teams that have looked a little frisky this week. Yeah. For the Mavericks, Anthony Davis returned to the court and immediately changed the Mavericks' fortunes. The Mavericks have won 3 in a row, including impressive wins at Denver and against Miami. Utah is also playing well as of late, winning 3 of their last 4, including a 133-125 win over the Houston Rockets, who came into that game winning 8 of their last 9. By the way, on the same night that the Mavs beat the Nuggets and the Jazz beat the Rockets, we also saw that Wizards win over the Bucks that I mentioned
Yeah.
earlier, and we also saw the Suns beat the Lakers despite Devin Booker only playing 10 minutes. But who needs Devin Booker when you get 61 combined points from Dylan Brooks and Colin Gillespie? Speaking of the Lakers, LeBron's streak of consecutive 1,297 games scoring double digits finally came to an end in Toronto on Thursday night, a game that ended on a buzzer-beating Rui Hachimura 3 that would have, of course, assisted by LeBron James. The last time LeBron didn't score double digits was January 5th, 2007, only 4 days before the announcement of the original iPhone. The announcement wasn't even out.
It wasn't even out.
Finally, this week, we had our 8th 50-point game of the season. In a game against the Pacers, Jamal Murray scored 52 points, which included going 10 of 11 from three-point range. 10 of 11. That
Sick.
means that the Nuggets have already had 3 different players with a 50-burger this season, with Murray joining Jokic and Aaron Gordon. The only other teams in NBA history to have 3 50-burgers from 3 different players, the 1961-62 Lakers, Elgin Baylor, Jerry West, and did you know it, Andrew? Rudy LaRusso, and the 2018-19 Warriors with Steph, Clay, and KD. And those were the top stories this week, Andrew. What a week it was.
What a
On
week.
court, off court. It was a good one.
It was. The
But
off-court stuff has been wild. And it was just like all falling on us at once, it felt like.
yeah, it came out of the blue too, late at night.
It did. Yeah, it did.
Yeah. I was so excited. I was hesitant to text people that I knew were in the central time zone because it was so late, but I felt like I needed to. I needed to wake them up.
We were recording Down to Dunk. It happened right after we finished recording. I wish we would have held on for just a few more minutes.
I know. But that brings us to our weekly segment where we share something good we like, we share something bad we didn't like, and then we share something that maybe just confused us, good or bad, in a segment we like to call Good, Bad, What? Andrew, what is your good this week?
My good is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And a lot of people want to talk about his three-point shot, his step-back three, which has been ridiculous. A lot of people want to talk about his passing improving. But there's one part of his game that has also improved that could be historic if he can continue at this pace. His pull-up shot. Right now, he leads the league in pull-up points, period, at 301 pull-up points so far this season. He led the league in this stat last year. None of this is super surprising, but what is surprising is his efficiency. Last year, he was 44.6% on his pull-up shots, which is good, but not like crazy elite. There were guys like Durant and DeRozan that had better percentages last year. This year, he has the best percentage on pull-up shots of anybody that has at least 150 pull-up points at 51% on his pull-up shots, which, to put that into context, since 13-14, whenever these stats started to be compiled on NBA.com, guess how many players have averaged more than 10 pull-up points per game and shot over 50% from the field on those numbers?
2.
It's one. It's
so
one
close.
guy, and it's Kevin Durant in the 22-23 season in Phoenix. Shot 54%, which is bananas.
Yeah.
But Shai is on track right now to have that kind of season. And like you look across the league right now, just to give you a sample of like what some of these other guys are shooting, like Jaylen Brown's having a really nice year with his pull-up 46%. Brandon Ingram has always been a really good pull-up shooter, 47%. Steph Curry's 43%. Cade Cunningham, 41%. Jamal Murray is also having a really nice year, 49% on his pull-up shots. Luka, 43%. Donovan Mitchell, 42%. Tyrese Maxey's is shooting a lot of them, but he's at 37%. It's not so great. But what Shai is doing is like significant. Not only is he leading this Thunder team, he's improved his game in a lot of different areas and some more noticeable than others, but it's really just like the efficiency on this pull-up shot that could lead him to be like being one of the best pull-up shooters in the league and really in recent NBA history. So Shai is kind of crushing it across the board, and this pull-up shot is just a weapon that he continues to sharpen.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised that KD was the name that you brought up because it really is guys like KD, Jokic is another one where their efficiency is so good. If it was any other player, you'd say there's no way they could sustain this. But I feel like Shai has reached that realm with
Yeah.
guys like Jokic and KD, where it's like he might just be able to do it. He might have just reached that level now where these crazy efficiency numbers are just who he is going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew, my good this week, Zach Edey.
Zach Edey.
Now, it was only a few weeks ago. We were talking about the land of the lost, the teams that were bottom 10 in both offense and defense per clean the glass. We both said that the first unit to break out of that was going to be Memphis's defense. And we were right, Andrew.
Yeah.
And a lot of that had to do with the return of Zach Edey, because prior to Edey's return, the Grizzlies were 24th in defense per clean the glass. In the 9 games since Edey has come back, the Grizzlies defense is ranked 12th. On offense, it's amazing what he's done for their second chance offense. Before he came back, they were generating 16 plays per 100 misses, which ranked 26th in the league. In other words, not a lot of second chance opportunities for the Grizz, which has been their identity forever.
Yeah.
In the last 9 games, however, the Grizzlies are generating 24.1 plays per 100 misses, which ranks 3rd in the league. So they've gone from 26th to 3rd in this like second chance offense. In his 9 games, Edey has had 4 or more offensive rebounds 6 times, and it's really 6 of 8 games because he only played 5 minutes against Denver due to a migraine. In those 8 games, he's averaging 16 and 13, 2.5 blocks per game, highlighted by this crazy 32-17 5-block performance against Sacramento in only 29 minutes. He's just been an absolute monster for this team, and he's helped them find some stability in what was starting to look like a lost season for Memphis. I'd love to see them try to get him even more involved offensively, which I realize is somewhat hindered by the fact that all of their point guards are still injured, that they've kind of forced Vince Williams into this role. I think once we get a couple of those guys back, we could really start to see Edey take on a bigger load offensively. I love the fit with Triple J. They complement each other's strengths and weaknesses really well. And bigger picture, I just love the idea that someone like Zach Edey might succeed in the NBA. That's fun to me. The fact that he isn't the dinosaur that some thought he might be, that's exciting, because looking back, the Warriors small ball era, they were so dominant, it made us believe that certain guys just couldn't survive in the league anymore. And I think that influenced a lot of opinions about Edey as a prospect. And to be fair, maybe it'll be true in the playoffs. You know, it certainly wasn't always pretty against OKC in round 1 last year, but he was a rookie and he was facing the eventual champions. I just love that we finally moved out of this era where small ball dictated so much of the conversation about the league and about team building. You know, this isn't a new thought, but good teams are playing so differently from each other, which I think is forcing us as fans to reconsider what types of players and schemes could work and could be successful in the NBA. And a player like Zach Edey succeeding, or this Miami offense working, or the Rockets offense working the way it has, it all fits into this idea that there are a ton of ways to make it work in the NBA right now. And in my opinion, makes the league so much more interesting to talk about instead of trying to fit every team into the same mold. And so, Zach Edey, you are good to me. But what about a bad, Andrew?
Bad, Al. What's bad? You know what would be really bad? Maybe this isn't bad yet, but at least maybe these thoughts are bad. Bucks, listen, we can all see the writing on the wall. You're gonna trade Giannis. It's gonna happen at some point. You can't keep this churning. Will you please do us all a favor and not send him to the Western Conference? Please. Will you please just consider it? Listen, the Atlanta Hawks, they could offer you a life raft to your own picks to tank so that you can get good players that way. Please take that life raft if the Hawks offer. Please, Atlanta Hawks, offer it. Please. Because listen, the Spurs and the Rockets, they have great trade packages that they could send back. Picks, players, young players, and they could still be title contenders. Listen, our friends at BetMGM have the MVP odds with Shai leading it currently, Jokic 2, Doncic 3, Giannis 4, and then it falls off a cliff. We can't have those top 4 guys in one conference, Al. We just can't do it. Toronto, you want to step up to the plate? Make an offer. I'm begging Atlanta. Atlanta makes the most sense, and Atlanta could be a title contender this year if they did that. But I just the bad for me is like considering the fact that there are a lot of Western Conference teams that can and will make offers for Giannis, and it would be a disaster in my mind if Giannis wound up in the Western Conference. Then I think he's clearly the best player in the East. Who would the best player in the East be? Is it Cade then? Is it Brunson?
Yeah,
Who is
Cade
it?
or Brunson.
And it's and those are good players. I would never hate on either one of those guys. Those are nice players. But if you put Cade or Brunson in the Western Conference, what are they then, like the 5th best player in the West? And like we just need some kind of balance. We just need like these East teams to get it together still. Like I know the East is kind of strong 1 through 10. I don't care. Like we cannot have this top heaviness in the league. Keep Giannis in the East, please. So that's my bad for the week. I can't help but think about like the Rockets or the Spurs or somebody trying to get in on this because they truly can, and they can truly make an awesome trade for the Bucks to kind of help them. But I just think it would be bad for the NBA overall to have the best 4 players in the league in one conference.
I'm not too worried about the Rockets because I've heard listening to different podcasts. It sounds like that is more a thing that could happen in the summer.
Sure.
Than right now. It's hard to happen right now.
Even in the summer, don't do it. Even in the summer, don't do it, please.
The Spurs, I think you just have to. This idea that they could get out of this without giving up Dylan Harper. That's the one that I'm just like, come on. We're talking about Giannis. Like if that did happen, you at least have to get Dylan Harper.
Yeah. The thing with the Hawks is the most valuable picks that you get when you're a bad team is your own, and the fact that they don't control their own is it's a sticking point for them. And that's why I think the Hawks trade just makes the most sense, is that it does offer them a way to take a team that is already pretty bad. And without Giannis, I think it's going to get pretty disgusting. I know they did win that one game, but this team is not good. Like anyone can look at this team and know that they're not good. And so it gives them a way out. Like it just, the Hawks gives them like a tangible way out that doesn't reward other teams.
Well, it's funny that you said, we all see the writing on the wall. I was listening to the NBA Daily, and Eric Name was on, and he was basically saying, like, I've done this podcast 9 times. I do this podcast every couple of months.
I know.
So, like, you kind of understand it from the Milwaukee perspective. Like, why is this time really going to be that different?
Yeah.
Especially if, as the reporting suggests, that he still hasn't made a formal trade request. Like,
it is weird. It is weird where it's like, we're thinking about it. It's like, come on. Like we know you've been thinking about it. You've been discussing it. Like this is not.
It's giving big Damian Lillard vibes. Where he clearly, if this team was just a little bit better, I think Giannis would love to stay in Milwaukee. In the same way that the Dame just wanted to be on a good team, and ideally he wanted to be on a good team in Portland. But it just got to a point where he realized and then you had this like messy, prolonged breakup, and it feels like that's what's happening right now. You know, maybe the Bucks can stay afloat over this next stretch. Their schedule isn't as tough to close the season, and they did get KPJ back, so they have another guard at least. But it's been a bad week for Bucks fans. My bad this week. I'm so sick of talking about this team. I'm so sick of them tricking us, Andrew. The Chicago Bulls. They have been absolutely disgusting over this recent stretch.
Our surprise team, our precious surprise team.
I hate them. I hate them.
Foiled again.
5-game losing streak. And sure, teams go through good and bad stretches. Listen to this run of losses. Pelicans, Hornets, Pacers, Magic, fine, Nets. When they had a bad run earlier in the season, it was respectable. Milwaukee, Cleveland, San Antonio, Detroit. What is this? How is it even possible to lose to all these teams? And their offense has completely fallen off a cliff. They are dead last in the league on offense over the last 2 weeks per cleaning the glass, which is this 1-6 stretch. The biggest change has been their three-point shooting. Prior to this recent 7-game stretch, they were 3rd in the league at 39.3% from 3. They have been below 33% as a team lately, though. And it's their biggest volume guys, too. Kobe White, who's only played 3 games in the stretch, shooting 26% from 3. Buzelis, 22%. Vooch, 28%. Herter, 29%. Just a team-wide cool down, other than Io and Getty, who still have shot it well throughout this. Another factor is they're not getting out in transition like they were early in the season. Before this recent 7-game stretch, they were 2nd in the league in percentage of offensive plays in transition.
Wow.
During this skid, they've dropped all the way down to 16th, which means they're in the half court more often where they can't shoot. They don't get offensive rebounds, so they're not getting a lot of second chance opportunities. And to make matters worse, the Bulls announced this week that first-round pick Noah Essengate out for the season.
Yeah.
Not great.
Bummer.
And then you had the report from Chicago sports anchor Lou Canellis, who said, quote, Giannis and his representatives reached out to the Bulls about a potential deal, and the Bulls said they weren't interested. They were not interested in breaking up their young core or changing their course of direction. Now, I didn't know who Lou Canellis was before this week, but I did learn that Giannis partnered with Lou to bring the Greek restaurant chain that Lou co-owns to Milwaukee. So this isn't coming from some random source. Regardless of whether you believe that report or not, it does fit snugly into my opinion of the Bulls front office. Like if I was doing an impression of what the Bulls front office would say in response to trading for Giannis, I'd say something like that quote. Finally, let's check in on the surprise team race, all right? It's brutal.
Oh,
Andrew,
no.
the Bulls are now 8 games off the pace, just like that. Just like that. Felt like we snapped our fingers.
I was feeling so good.
It's over. It's over. Our best candidates for surprise teams, Phoenix Suns, who are 6 games ahead of the pace needed.
Wow.
And the only other team who is ahead of the pace, the Utah Jazz, who are 2 games ahead of the pace they need. Now, they were, I should have thought about this more because remember I came out of that feeling like I'm not going to pick the Jazz, but I sort of get the over argument.
Yeah.
Man, I should have thought about it more because they did have the lowest over under. And so they could win like 28, 29 games and be a surprise team. We'll see. So yeah, the Bulls, bad Bulls.
Bad Bulls.
I'm Andrew. Actually, they're about to go on like a 6-game winning streak, and then I'll be forced to talk about them again. If they don't, though, I'm not talking about them till the new year. It's
Never
over,
again.
Bulls.
I'm blocking Joel Lorenzi right now.
Good.
As we speak.
Andrew, what is your what this week?
What? My what is, the Grizzlies and the Hawks have been missing their point guards, and it's like. My what is like, do they really need these guys? These guys that are their like franchise icons, the guys that are selling the jerseys, the guys that are the ones that they're building around supposedly. Do they really need these guys? And so I was looking at some lineup data that is it's interesting. I don't know what to do with it. That's why I put it in my what. It's like, what do we do with this stuff exactly? I'm not sure. So far this season, according to Cleaning the Glass, the Grizzlies are a minus 4.4 with John Morant on the court. That's not great. The lineup of Vince Williams, Coward, Jalen Wells, Jaren Jackson, Zach Edey, and 171 possessions is a plus 21.5. It's quite good. It's also the 7th best lineup, period, according to Cleaning the Glass.
How many possessions was that?
It's 171, so it's not that much.
Okay.
Vince Williams at point guard I'm not saying it's like a solution to your problem, but like the guy has had 2 games of 15 assists or more so far this season. Mm-hmm. He's playing well. And, when we talk about the Hawks and kind of bring this whole conversation full circle, it's like, if you have enough skilled players on the court, like, do you really need a point guard? And particularly, do you need a point guard that dominates the basketball? I think it's just a question you have to start asking yourself. When you look at the Hawks, according to Cleaning the Glass, Trae Young is a team worst minus 11.8 so far this season. If you look at the lineup with Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Dyson Daniels, Risa Shea, Okongwu, and goodness gracious, Jalen Johnson. I don't know why his name was escaping me. Jalen Johnson, they're a plus 11.4 in 278 possessions. They're legitimately good. And we've seen that on the court. Like, this team has performed really well without Trae. If you put in the zinger for Okongwu, they're a plus 10.7. So that's in 541 possessions. Like, that's not nothing. That's not the 171 that the Grizzlies have had. They're a plus 10, over a plus 10 with them. And when you have Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, and Trae off the court, they're a plus 5 in all different machinations of lineup. So I just don't know what you do. I just am curious as to what the Grizzlies and the Hawks think they should do internally because they've clearly found something with some of these lineups. And also, I would say that like Trae Young and John Morant are still like two of the most talented players on either of one of these teams, but they're performing well without them. They're more cohesive without them. And I just wonder what you do. And it just makes I'm just super curious as to where these teams go from here, because I just don't know the answer to that, and that's why it's my what. It's like where do they go? I think that the Hawks are probably way more interesting just with their draft choices and like the ability to go get Giannis if they wanted to. I think that they could offer something really good, but I'm just really curious like where these teams pivot, because there's clearly something off with both Ja and Trae Young when they're in the lineup with both these teams.
Yeah, I definitely don't think they should suddenly believe, hey, point guards, this is the new market inefficiency. Let's just never have point guards.
That's why it's confusing. It's like you definitely still need point guards. Yeah.
Yeah, I would think they're not going to get drunk with this like regular season vibe of what's going on right now, because I can just imagine in the playoffs these offenses without like a real guard would be putrid.
Sure.
They still might be good defensively, but especially in the case of Memphis, like getting a Ty Jerome back or Scottie Pippen Jr., that's just going to help their team so much.
Yeah.
And so this to me, like I do think like the Ja thing is kind of interesting, but that's more just because he's played so poorly through that early part of the season. The Trae thing, like I still think Trae's a really good player. I think he can be an offensive engine for a top 5 offense. So I think I'm more hopeful about the idea of reintegrating Trae and maybe combining some of the things that they found when he was out with just everything that Trae brings. But we'll see. Apparently, you said they're going to trade for Giannis, so it might not even matter.
If you do that, that solves all your problems.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that at all.
Andrew, my what this week starts with a story from last week, because during trivia, Sam Vecini, I had a question about the first round pick that scored the most points while playing 10 or fewer minutes this season. And you correctly guessed Danny Wolf of the Brooklyn Nets, who until that point had played 10 minutes in the NBA. He'd scored 2 points. Now, did my trivia question shame the Nets into finally playing Danny Wolf? Who can say? But 1 week later, Danny Wolf has played 122 minutes in the NBA. And guess what? He looks really good.
Hooping.
In his last 4 games, he's averaged over 25 minutes per game, put up 14, 6, and 3. Now, it's only 4 games, but it's an awesome first look at a guy who I was super intrigued by during the pre-draft process. If you haven't watched Danny Wolf before, you need to, because he's weird. He's 6'11", but he moves like a wing, and I get it. We've had tall wings before, but he's also 250 pounds. He's huge.
He's huge.
And he's doing and trying stuff guys that size usually are not. Offensively, he's taken a lot of threes, 6 per game over this recent 4-game stretch. The shot looks good, pretty fast release. He's taken and made a couple deep ones. Just looks really comfortable shooting the ball. Now, inside the arc, I've really enjoyed his drives and how he gets to the rim. He has really struggled finishing at the rim so far, but it's only 4 games, and to me, a lot of these misses at the rim just look unlucky. I'm more encouraged by just how he's getting to the rim. He's got moves. And the other thing is his passing. I love his passing. He's really skilled, creative passer. He makes quick decisions. I was watching the game against the Jazz. It was the only close game on, so I was tuned in to Jazz Nets. He kept trying that classic Jokic pass where Jokic will be like in the low post or the mid post, back to defender, and he just suddenly whips the ball around his body to the opposite corner behind him. I swear Danny Wolf tried that pass at least 3 times against the Jazz, and it didn't always work. One of them was one of his turnovers, but he's a daring passer, which I love. And I know people did not like the Nets draft class, and me included, but Danny Wolf was always the exception for me. He's so weird, and I'm just glad that he's starting to get regular minutes because he's a very fun player, and he also seems to be getting the runway to kind of explore the space, which is what I really wanted to see from Danny Wolf.
Yeah, he's a fun big that can shoot the ball and can pass. He
can dribble, pass, shoot as a 6'11", 250-pound man.
When you have skilled players on the court, it just is super helpful when you have skilled players all throughout the court. And he's one of those guys. Is he going to be like some amazing NBA player? I'm not really sure. I don't know
either. But it's going to be fun to find out.
It'll be so fun to find out. I'm glad the Nets finally started to play him. It was getting a little depressing, like continuing to see like DNPs for Danny Wolf. It just made no sense.
When we had Nets week and we didn't get to see any Danny Wolf.
I know.
Come on, give us something.
I know. What a disaster. Another team that we keep saying, just give us something, is the Washington Wizards. And we're going to talk about them right after this quick break.
All right, Andrew, it is time for the Wheel of Fandom, the weekly segment where we spin a wheel, it lands on a team, and we become fans of that team for the next week or 2 weeks. Because 2 weeks ago, the wheel landed on the Washington Wizards. Now, at that time, the Wizards had lost 12 in a row. We were wondering whether we'd be talking about a franchise worst losing streak when we finally got around to talking about them. But by the power of the wheel, the Wizards shocked us all, going 2-5 in their last 7, with wins over the Hawks and the Bucks. They also had a 1-point loss to the Bulls. In the win over the Hawks, CJ McCollum scored a season-high 46 points, his second 40-point game of the season. Now, did they also lose games during the span by 30, 33, and 45? Yeah, of course they did. We're still talking about the 3-18 Wizards, who, per Clean of the Glass, had the 28th ranked offense and 30th ranked defense. Andrew, if the Wizards are our favorite team, who is our guest?
Guys, it's the week we've all been waiting for. Let's be honest. I know that Slam and Jam fans have been clamoring for this to happen. The wheel has denied us too many times until today. Josh Robbins returns to Slam and Jam. Josh, welcome back to the Saturday Slam and Jam.
I'm so happy to be here. Now I'm going to earn my keep. I love the two of you, and I love the Saturday Slam and Jam.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Tens of thousands of listeners. Let me just tell everybody what's really going on here.
Okay. I don't know what this is going to be, but go ahead.
This is a love affair.
Uh-huh.
This is a platonic love affair. Similar to when Andy Kaufman would visit the Letterman show, or Bill Murray or Terry Garr would visit the Letterman show back in the NBC days, or when Diane Cannon or Angie Dickinson or that animal guy would visit Carson.
Our younger listeners are loving this now. Keep going.
That's right. And so that's what's going on here. It's a love affair between the hosts and the guest. And because you welcome me with such wonderful open arms, you have created this incomparable bond that I have with the Saturday Slam and Jam aficionados. And it means so much to me. And the telegrams and the DMs and the Twitter DMs and the Blue Sky DMs and the email messages and the strange text messages that I get rooting for me to beat the daylights out of Andrew in trivia, not in real life, mean a lot to me. So
we're getting there.
So thank you to all of you. You mean more to me than I can properly express. And because of that, I have an announcement that I would like to announce at this time.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. We're starting with an announcement. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Is it correct that Oklahoma City is kind of the spiritual home of the Saturday Slam and Jam?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Because I know you guys are down to dunkers also. But
yeah,
next time I'm in Oklahoma City and have time for dinner, could be this year, could be next season, could be the season after that, I will take 3 Slam and Jam listeners who you guys pick. They can't be your family members. 3 Slam and Jam listeners. I guess they could fly in if they want to come in.
You're paying for the flights too?
No.
Okay.
I'm a working man. I can only do so much. I'm going to take them and Andrew and any family members direct family members Andrew wants to bring to dinner at an Oklahoma City restaurant of your choice.
Ooh.
And you choose the listeners.
Okay.
They're just some minor, quick ground rules. No alcohol. All right. I can't afford this.
Okay.
Second, no caviar, no lobster, Okay. Seabass. All right, Seabass I can probably do.
What in
Okay.
the
You
world?
wanna get some sea bass out of the Oklahoma River?
Yeah, we have great
Great.
seafood.
So, this is serious. I will happily, because
Wow.
you guys have meant so much to me in the audience.
Wow.
I Let's do this. Let's do that. I can't wait. Thank
Okay.
you for embracing me like family, like Letterman embraced Terry Garr.
Wow.
I'm
Okay.
Terry Garr,
Listen.
everybody.
Okay, make your case. You can send me an email, aschlecht at theathletic.com. If you want to go to dinner with me and Josh, give me your case. Let us know. Why are you the best Slam and Jam fan in OKC? Let us know.
And
I think we
Alex, if
should-
you want to come in, of course, we would love to have you.
Of
I mean, yeah,
course.
of course. Yeah, I
course.
mean,
The family
definitely.
won't be complete without you. All right.
I mean,
Thank you to everybody for listening. Thank you for the two of you for letting me hijack your show. I'm happy to answer and
let's
discuss
talk.
whatever you want to discuss. Thank you for indulging my terrible ego.
Let's do it. Let's talk about the Wiz. So we're in year 3 of the rebuild, Josh. Looking at the record, they haven't made a ton of progress, but as someone who's around the team up close, what's felt different about covering the Wizards this season compared to the previous 2?
Well, I have to confess, not a lot has felt different compared to last season. The record is almost identical. I think they have one more win now than they did at this time last year. Certainly, their spots in these rankings, and your figures are the same as mine about the defensive ranking being 30th, the offense being 28th, the net ranking being last. There's not a whole lot different in the feel of things, but this is not by accident. It's not as though they were facing a situation like last year in Phoenix, where Phoenix was hoping it would become a contender and then laid an egg. In this case, the Wizards are tanking. I think that's fair to say. I know that's fair to say. They're trying to make sure that they maximize their lottery odds and keep their 2026 pick, which is top 8 protected. So this is not a surprise. What may be a surprise, perhaps, is the depth of the losing and the point differential. And Alex, you stated the point differentials. You're accurate. In that sense, the season has not been pretty, but it has not been a surprise.
Well, something that has been a surprise, I would say, is Wizards' second-year player Alex Sarr, who got off to a blistering start this season, improving pretty much every aspect of his game compared to his rookie season. Now, there still will be ups and downs as three-point shooting has cooled off lately, as an example. But what improvements in Sarr's game feel the most real and sustainable to you?
Well, I think you put it very well. Your analysis is essentially my analysis, which is to say, why are you having me on the show? I'm not adding anything. No, he has been much better. The way and the difference in some ways has been a shock to me. When I was speaking with scouts over the offseason and wrote my annual Scouts Evaluate Alex Sarr or Wizards Prospects piece, I described him as a perimeter player in a 7-footer's body, especially on offense and to an extent defensive rebounding. This year, so much of this has flipped. He's rolling to the basket more often in pick and roll. He's attacking the basket. He's rebounding at a good rate, not just an above average rate, a good rate for an NBA big per cleaning the glass. Our pal's cleaning the glass, friend of the show. Um, um, he's been very good by any measure. And yet he's still only, I think, 20 years old. He's still only 240 pounds, as he would say, on a good day. I mean, that's his quote. On a good day, he's 240 pounds. And he's protecting the rim at a rate that he didn't last year. And he's facing a ton of attempts, which speaks in part to his activity, but really also to the sad state of the Wizards' perimeter defense.
Right, yeah.
But he's stopping shots, not necessarily blocking them, but affecting shots at a rate comparable to reigning NBA Defensive Player of the Year Evan Mobley within 6 feet of the hoop.
Yeah.
So I know I was I was serious about the dinner invitation and the Bill Murray stuff and the Andy Kaufman stuff, but I'm serious about this. He's much improved. And that, I think, along with the growth of Keyshawn George, have been the two brightest spots to their season so far.
Were you expecting this at all? Like when you were talking to Wizards coaches, like over the offseason or in the preseason, were they saying like we want him to be doing more of the traditional big man stuff?
No, and I'm gonna be, as always on your show, or in print or Twitter, whatever, honest. They would never disclose certain plans. The
Yeah,
Wizards are
yeah.
an extraordinarily tight-lipped organization, almost to the degree that the Thunder are,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
almost to the degree that the Spurs have been. Um, Having said that, he did play in Summer League. He played, I think, in 2 games in Summer League, and none of what he showed there was anything similar to this.
Right. Yeah, that's why I was so confused by it.
Right, and he's, by the way, he's only 20, and his body, as I said before or indicated before, it has not filled out yet. And yes, did I think he'd make progress? Probably, but if you had pinned me down, so to speak, I would have thought it would be modest, gradual progress. I'm not saying he's an all-star right now. I'm not saying that. I'm not even saying that he's most improved player in the league, but the gap between last year to this year has been immense. So, no, I did not expect it. It has surprised me, and, the Wizards are not giving any indication whether they're surprised or not. Not that that matters, because it's been a real improvement, and it's right now probably the best thing the franchise has going for it for the long term, other than the fact that it has stayed disciplined, with its long-term plan,
Mhm.
which in the short term is like taking this yucky, disgusting tasting medicine, the 3 and
Mhm.
18. But as some of my executive contacts and sources tell me, to get well, and this was a sick franchise, you have to take your medicine. And in their case, unfortunately for them, the medicine is losing in the short term.
Yeah. Which is great because if somehow they get blessed with the top 3 pick in the draft, things can turn around pretty quick. And so hopefully that's something that happens for them.
Correct. And I have to tell both sides to the analysis here. The nightmare scenario is that somehow they wind up with the 5th or is it 6th
Yeah.
pick, or
Yeah.
who knows, maybe the 4th pick, and they don't get a franchise-changing player, in which case, well, then that's, in my opinion, is a serious problem, in
Yep.
my opinion, which I think would be just disastrous for them. They express a little bit more confidence than that.
Mhm.
And perhaps they did see Alex Sarr's improvement coming. But in my opinion, if they're not in the top 3, perhaps the top 4, maybe there's a 5th great prospect this year. That's a real serious problem for them.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You
I'm
mentioned
just being honest.
I mean, you should always. Always.
I'm just
Uh,
being honest.
you mentioned Keyshawn George. He's getting some early attention here. The playmaking wasn't his biggest selling point as a prospect, but now he's averaging almost 5 assists per game. What are your thoughts on his development as a playmaker in general?
I think it's very promising. He's now a bona fide point forward. Does he have a lot to work on? Yes, that's true. But at this time last year, there were rumblings that the Wizards actually may have thought that he was their best long-term NBA player.
Hmm.
They saw some rumblings, and they may
Yeah.
disagree. Certainly, Alex Sarr seems to have surpassed. But Keyshawn George has been very impressive, not just as a ball handler, although there has been that improvement, but as a shooter. And, he's a competitor. I think Alex Sarr is a competitor also, but with Keyshawn, when they lose, it's like he's absorbed a punch to the gut.
Hmm.
I mean, he's really upset, especially if it's a close game where he feels like he didn't do his part. I mean, this is a compliment.
Sure.
Again, I'm being serious. I've had a long career, which has been, for the most part, covering rebuilding teams. Not all of it, but a large part of it. And I'll never forget the first year of the new front office, the Hennigan front office in Orlando. I'm talking after the game to old veteran Al Harrington. They had just gotten their doors blown off by 25 plus points, and it was a very similar situation to the one that the Wizards are facing now. And he says, at some point, you want to see the young guys take a chair and throw it into the chalkboard here in the locker room and just break the chalkboard. Um, and now no one has ever done that in my time covering the NBA, 16, 17 years, so far as I know. But the losing really upsets Keyshawn George when he feels like he's contributed to it. Like I think he missed a free throw in Detroit, a game that they should have won. They wound up losing in overtime. They deserved to win that game. He's upset at himself. I think that's a great quality to have. And that shows me that he has the competitiveness to withstand these very down times for the team. And let's, again, just be clear. I do think that they have to try to keep their pick, but that doesn't mean that this 3-18 start is pleasant. It's not pleasant. It's not pleasant for anybody within that team, except perhaps for the people who understand how important it is to keep that pick.
So I want to ask you about Cam Whitmore because once upon a time he was a draft day steal for the Rockets after he dropped to 20 in the 2023 draft. He was seen as this player with very high upside, but also some glaring flaws, most notably his lack of playmaking or just passing in general. Wizards took a flyer on him this summer. He's been averaging around 17 minutes per game for Washington. What have been your early impressions of Cam, and do you think the Wizards should consider playing him more?
Well, they should consider everything, and I think those are going to be deliberations that will intensify and may come to fruition, especially after the trade deadline or after any sort of buyouts for any veterans, if that happens. Um, when he has the ball and he's going downhill, he's darn near unstoppable. He's probably the second best athlete on the team, behind only Bilal. Uh, he has some real ability to score and to score quickly and to score without the aid of even a pick and roll, which
Mhm.
is a very rare thing in the NBA. Uh, so he does. You're right, and the scouting reports, as you described them, they were correct. He does have these gifts, but he does have the tunnel vision that you speak of, and that's been readily apparent. When they played in Houston, I ran a stat through the tracking data that the league has. Passes per minute played. He was
Mhm.
last among all Wizards rotation players.
Mm.
Um, so it all depends on the role they want, and if they want to have a democratic make the extra pass offense, well, then so far he has not fit into that, and that's going to have to be an area where he has to improve. But if you need someone who can come off that bench and score and do a lot of it on his own, well, then he is as advertised. And they have, for all the reasons we've discussed, they have the time to work on it with him. And they say they're doing their best to develop players. This is one example where let's see how they do.
Yeah, what have you thought about the coaching staff and the developmental staff, like, and just like Brian Keefe overall, and like how he's done there?
So I'm certain that he knew what the team was trying to accomplish when he took the job. And by all accounts, he does hold players accountable. When they make a mistake, he says so. Even last year, if it was Jordan Poole, okay, which is not to say Jordan Poole doesn't make mistakes, but it's not like Jordan Poole got a pass from him. Uh, having so he's facing enormous headwinds in terms of being able to win. This is a
Yeah.
team that is set up in the short term to lose simply by the fact of they're playing the roster is loaded with young guys. They all play for the most part alongside each other. It's almost impossible to be mistake free. And for all the quality that CJ McCollum brings on offense, he's been not good on defense. And Chris Middleton lately has not been very effective unless he's playing Milwaukee. Okay, so he's facing all these headwinds. That's all true. I think that's necessary context. Having said all that, I don't see a team that is close to playing to whatever its capability is.
Mm-hmm.
And that shows itself on defense. Are there times when they play good defense? Yes. Is it too much to expect a young team to play 48 minutes of very good defense? Probably is too much to expect. But even having said all that, they don't seem to be anywhere near what they could be in the short term. And I think that is an issue.
Yeah.
I think that's an issue. And I also think that it's an almost impossible job that he's been put into to hold him to a standard of seeing that team play 48 minutes per night of great defense.
Yeah.
I just don't think that that's realistic, but I also don't think that they are close to that on most nights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I wanted to ask about Trey Johnson. He was the Wizards' top pick in last year's draft. He's missed the last 6 games with a hip injury. But the shooting is something that was supposed to be his calling card, and it's looked great already. But what have you thought about the rest of his offensive game so far?
So his shooting has been great, as advertised. The rest of the game needs work in terms of where is he going to get his shots, particularly if he's not receiving the ball in spot-up situations on the perimeter, where he's excellent. I mean, he's already excellent in that area. It's very impressive. Best rookie shooter I've covered by far. So he does need to learn where and how he'll get his shots. He needs to put on more strength, a little bit more explosiveness. I think he'll get there. As with any rookie, it's disappointing that he's injured because just as he's beginning to start to figure things out or realize what he needs to figure out, he's not playing because he's injured. So, and I think defensively, he's probably been a little bit better than he was billed to be because heading into the draft, he was noted correctly as someone who didn't play much defense at Texas, perhaps because he had such a gigantic offensive responsibility there, as his coach told me. I think his defense was better than expected, but there's no good time for an injury, and this kind of slows his development for sure.
Well, Josh, thank you for answering all of our Wizards questions. But it is now time to play Andrew versus the Beat Wizards edition. Now, Josh, you've played Andrew versus this. I would say it's probably your favorite game. Wouldn't you say that? In this year off you've had, where you've been banned from the show, of course, for 1 year, but you're back now. You probably were missing it.
Banned? Wait a second, was I banned? Was the
who can say? Who can
by
say?
the wheel?
Well, no,
by the
I'm
wheel.
offended, and I think your tens of thousands of listeners who've come to root for me are offended too. I think you might have just jeopardized your show's standing among your listeners because they're rooting for me. As lovable as Andrew is, and he is lovable, and he's a wonderful guy, and he's a great family man, and you're a magnetic, charismatic host. They're rooting for me, guys. Everyone likes family. Everyone's rooting for the loser who can't win.
That's right.
I'm the underdog.
You are the underdog, but I have a good feeling about this week, Josh, okay?
That makes one of us, my man.
Now, how this works, I've come up with 8 questions about the Wizards. You're going to give me a number.
We all know how this works.
1 and 8. Okay, Rick. Quiet then, in case we have a new listener. 8 questions. You give me a number between 1 and 8. It'll correspond to a question. If you get it right, you'll get at least 2 points. If you get it wrong, Andrew will have a chance to steal for 1. We'll go back and forth till all the questions have been asked and answered. So, Josh, start me off with a number between 1 and 8.
2, please.
2. Oh man.
Oh wait,
The-
what is there something wrong now?
It is. This is the hardest question I came up with.
Well, then I pass it to Andrew.
You could pass it to Andrew, but you won't. You would lose your turn. Here we go.
Oh,
You
okay.
got this. The Wizards' bottom 2 offense for the second year in a row currently. The last time that happened was the 2012-13 season. Now, that season, John Wall led the Wizards in total points. Brad Beal had the 3rd most total points for the Wizards. Who had the 2nd most total points for the 2012-13 Wizards?
Yo. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Who were you covering at that time? Were you in Orlando?
I was in Orlando.
So that doesn't help.
Well, you would think it would help because I would have covered 4 games between the Magic and the Wizards.
That's true.
And you would think that anyone who's reasonably competent would remember the top 3 scorers on the Washington Wizards that year, but apparently not, because apparently I'm an incompetent. And while lovable, I don't know what the heck. I don't remember a single doggone thing. And I feel so inferior right now. But I'm still happy to take my legion of fans and family to dinner with Andrew when I go back to Oklahoma
Just
City.
extending the offer again, everybody. Seriously, send me an email and make your case if you want to go to dinner with Josh and I.
Wait, do I have to send my case?
No,
you're talking about
I'm
the
talking
league.
to the
Okay.
listeners right now. I'm talking to your beloved listeners.
Yes, I do love them very much. Oh, we have a question that I have to answer?
Yeah, what's your
That's
answer?
right. I think we should rent a limo and get all these
Ooh.
folks and drive to Aishan's.
Oh,
The famous fried chicken place.
that's a great idea. That's a great
It's
idea.
in Okarchi, is that right?
It's in Okarchi. Yeah.
Memorable. It'll be memorable.
Yeah.
2012, huh?
Yep. 12-13 Wizards.
Who was the second leading scorer? Rough.
Any guesses?
Clearly no.
So you are passing. You want to just throw out a name? You take
Well,
a guess?
I'm thinking, my man. You're putting pressure on me, which is, I think, one of the guilty pleasures your listeners.
You've already stalled for a minute and a half.
Well, you're putting pressure on me now. It's like a elephant sitting on a
On a?
possum's chest. I don't know.
Oh, that classic saying. Oh, it's like an elephant sitting on a possum's chest.
Okay, I'm thinking here.
Oh, no.
You're saying the 12-13 season. All right, so Otto Porter got there, I think, the year after that. Wouldn't have been him. But
I have a
wouldn't-
guess.
Yeah, it wasn't Otto Porter. Who was their big at the time? It wasn't Gortat. Gortat arrived a few years later.
Nope.
All right, well, I'm going to pass on this. Let's see Schlecht get it.
Okay. Andrew, what is your guess?
My guess is Nene.
Oh, crying out loud! I should have gotten that.
It's wrong. Don't
All right,
worry,
good.
Josh. It's wrong.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Dang.
It was, of course, Martell Webster.
Okay, well, I don't feel very
Martell.
terrible.
I know.
What?
That's what I thought, too.
I don't feel so
What?
bad not knowing that.
Andrew, board is yours.
Number 1.
Question number 1. According to Cleaning the Glass, when this wizard is on the court, Washington is 14 points per 100 possessions better than when he is off. The best on-off swing on the team. Who is the player?
Wow. Huh. Is this Corey Kispert?
Wow. It is Corey Kispert. That is correct for 2 points.
You know, you gave my son a Corey Kispert card,
I did.
and he was on a mission to get that card signed. It's a numbered Corey Kispert card. And
Only
he's big.
25 of them in the
Only
world.
25, and now that
Did he
now
get it
that
signed?
he did get it signed. He did get it signed. He was very, very happy.
Was that game that I covered in
was.
October?
It was at that game. Yep. He's very excited.
Well, at
about
least
that.
there's some good news coming out of this trivia game.
Josh, the board is yours.
8, please.
Question number 8. Going with the last question. Only 3 teams have played fewer minutes in the clutch than the Wizards. Name one.
Oklahoma City.
No. Andrew.
So actually, I looked up this stat for last season, and there was only one team that had fewer, and that was Oklahoma
That is true.
City.
Yeah,
However,
yeah.
that was not the question you asked.
Correct.
So,
and the thing is that SGA actually leads all players in clutch points right now.
Well, did I say he's not a great player?
No, I'm just saying that they've had to be in some clutch games for him to do that.
Yeah.
Now, Andrew, any guesses? 3 teams that have played fewer clutch minutes than the Wizards.
What about the Nets?
Brooklyn Nets. That is correct.
Right out loud.
Any other guesses? Josh, you want to just throw one out?
I think
Pelicans.
Nope.
I think the Knicks are one of those
The Knicks,
teams, too.
another one. You don't get a point for it, but it is correct. And the last one, the team that's played the fewest clutch minutes in the league. Although, you know what? This was before Thursday night's game against the Raptors, Los Angeles Lakers. So I don't know if that is still true.
I was going to guess the Nuggets.
Is there still a way I can come back and win this thing?
Absolutely. It is early days in this game. Andrew, board is yours.
3.
Question number 3. The Wizards currently have 3 players who take 5+ threes per game while shooting at least 39%. CJ McCollum, Keyshawn George, and Trey Johnson. There are 4 other NBA teams who also have at least 3 players taking 5+ threes while shooting 39% or better. Name one of those teams.
Oh, wow. 39% or better from 3.
You got to have 3 high-volume shooters, relatively speaking. 5+ threes per game.
That is tricky. I don't know. Boston?
Here we go, Josh. Steal that point. What do you got for me?
Steal that point.
Yeah, steal that point, Josh.
Steal that point.
Josh, you imbecile. You dum-dum. And let's face it, I am a dum-dum in this game.
No.
Oh,
No.
don't say that. No.
I'm the most inept guest you've ever had.
No.
If I'm not, then who is?
We don't need to name names.
Yeah, we don't need
Okay,
names.
thanks. All right, so I'm gonna go with the Lakers.
Okay, no. That's wrong. Okay. So the answer, Phoenix, Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, Colin Gillespie. OKC, Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, SGA. The Knicks, OG Anunoby, Miles McBride, Mikal Bridges.
Dang
and
it.
Milwaukee, KPJ, Ryan Rollins, and AJ Green.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, Josh. Andrew's only up by 3. You have control of the board.
All right, I'm gonna go with 7, please.
Question number 7. Oh, okay.
Listeners, are you
Here we
getting
go.
your dose of masochism for today?
Hey, Josh, lock in on this question because I think this is the easiest question. Lock in. Here we go.
Thanks, pal. Thank you.
The Wizards are ranked highest in which of the following categories per Cleaning the Glass? Half-court offense, transition offense, half-court defense, transition defense.
Transition offense.
That is correct for 2 points.
Yes, that was an easy question, and
Thank
you
you.
having said that makes me feel inadequate.
No, it's 3-2 now. We got a game on our hands.
No, you just take the layup. Just take the layup and
Yes.
just be excited.
Sometimes I throw an
your
easy one in there.
your pal. All right, so I have tremendous affection for Alex, and I think he's great, and he's an incredible host. I mean, really charismatic.
He is.
Okay?
Yeah, he's great.
But he also
and a family man.
Oh, that's lovely. That's great. Sure, you're a great husband and father. That's not
Thank
a
you.
surprise. However, let's just call a spade here and just
Mhm.
acknowledge
I don't
that
like where this
he
is
has
headed.
a special way of kind of getting under, not make me angry, but make me feel a bit insecure here. And he kind of tilts the playing field toward his pal Andrew. I think.
Well, okay. That is not true. I want nothing more than to see Andrew lose every week. It brings me immense joy.
I've made an accusation, and I'm going to stick by that accusation.
Wow.
But
Okay.
you're great at all the other stuff, like the Family Man stuff. I mean, that's more important.
Thank you. Andrew, board is yours.
4.
Question number 4.
I'm sorry, that's the second easiest of all the questions.
It actually is. What is CJ McCollum's career high in points plus Chris Middleton's career high in points? Now, Andrew, you have to add those two numbers together. Andrew, you get to choose who answers first. So you can make Josh answer, and then you go higher or lower, or you can answer, and Josh would go higher or lower. So CJ's career high plus Chris Middleton's career high. Add them together.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's a trick.
It's not a trick question.
It's a tricky question.
See, now he's starting
Okay.
to feel the pressure.
I don't know. 103.
All right, that's lower. The answer is lower than 103.
The correct answer is, Andrew, you got within 2 points of the correct answer. Correct answer is 101, which means Josh gets the point, and we have a tie game.
This is thrilling. This is as thrilling as the season opener between OKC and who did they play again?
Houston.
That was
Rockets.
a great game. That was
Yeah,
a great game.
Was a
And
great
this
game.
is a great contest between
Two Titans.
between Mr. Genius Andrew Schlecht and America's sweetheart Josh Robbins.
You're calling yourself
The lovable underdog, the lovable mutt against the lovable mutt with who lost a leg when he was running across the street against the most frou-frou standard poodle.
Yes, get his ass.
The most frou-frou standard poodle, primped dog at the dog show. I'm America's mutt. I'm
That's
America's
right.
mutt.
Yeah, Andrew's up on his heartworm medication.
No,
We're not sure if you've had it.
I'm the one who. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's correct.
no. Oh, no.
All right, Josh, this is big.
Yeah, it is.
2 questions left. Tie game. 5 or 6.
I'm going with number 5, please.
Question number 5. At his current pace, Alex Sarr will enter the top 10 for most blocks in Wizards franchise history by his 4th season. Who is in the top 10 for most blocks in Wizards franchise history? We're going to name them. So how this works is Josh, you're going to give me a name, then Andrew will give me a name, and we're going to go back and forth until one of you stumbles. So this is Wizards franchise history, most total blocks.
Charles Jones.
Wow, I would have saved that name. There's no way Andrew knows who Charles Jones is. Yes, Charles Jones is correct.
When I have the correct answer, I can't take a risk.
Okay, that was impressive though. That was the one name I did not know.
Wow.
Okay, Andrew.
Brendan Haywood.
Brendan Haywood. He was number 4 on the list.
Now that's amazing. That's amazing.
That he's
Man,
number
you're
4?
impressive, Andrew.
Longevity, right?
Wow, that's just incredible work by you. Man, you are impressive.
That's what us poodles do.
Well, when you have the quality education, like some, see, I didn't have the benefit of a trainer. They just put me in the dog pound and said, well, maybe someone will come over and claim you.
Yeah.
Whereas you got 3 meals a day of high quality, this
Kibble,
packaged food. I got the gravel instead.
That's what everybody's always saying about me.
Josh, another name in the top 10 all-time blocks, Wizards history.
Yeah, there sure is some pressure now.
Whew, it's heating up.
It is heating up. Okay, I'm total blocks. All right, I'm going to go with Gortat on this.
Marcin Gortat was number 8 on the
Thank
list.
the good
Wow.
Lord. Thank the
Wow.
good Lord.
Back to Andrew.
What about JaVale?
JaVale McGee was number 7 on the list. Back to Josh. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 names remaining. 6 Bloxman for the Washington Wizards. You still haven't gotten number 1, number 3. Still some.
I'm going to say,
Okay.
and this is a risk because he wasn't said to really play a ton of defense. Elvin Hayes.
Elvin Hayes? Number 1 on the list all time.
You see, I even thought that was a risk, and yet he was number 1 on the list. Goes to show how absolutely clueless I am.
Hey, go back to the America's Sweetheart talk.
Well, no, but that's why I am America's sweetheart, because I'm the quintessential underdog.
Wow. Manute Bol.
Manute Bol. Number 3 on the list. Wow, this is getting good. All right, Josh, can you pull another name out of the hat?
This is a titanic struggle between 2 immovable objects and irresistible forces.
They'll talk about this one for years.
They might. I'm sure it's going to come up at this lovely dinner we're going to have in Oklahoma City.
All right, can you pull one name? There's 4 names remaining. Number 5, 6, 9, and 10.
I'm well aware that Wes Unseld Sr. was not someone who played above the rim. I'm well aware of that. But wow, what a brilliant player he was. What a hustling player he was. A truly great player. And so I'm going to put my hopes into hoping that Wes Unseld Sr. blocked a lot of shots because he played a lot of games for that team. Even won an MVP. Do I get extra credit for saying that he won the Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same season? No, that's not fair. That's not sporting. I don't want to win like that. All right, but my answer is Wes Sr.
He was also an all-star. He was an NBA first-teamer. He, however, was not on the list.
Wow.
Now, part of this was the fact that they didn't start tracking blocks until 1973-74, so you missed out on 5 seasons. Yeah. But also, he never averaged more than a block per game during his other seasons.
Well, I was hoping for pure volume on this one.
Yeah, but understand. Let's see how close he was.
I took a gamble and I lost.
It's okay.
Let's see. Not. I'm going to have to wait another year and a half to take on Andy.
The game's not over. You know what?
It's not over yet.
He was within 40, which means that if they had track block, he easily would have been in the top 10.
Well, then maybe I'll put a protest in.
Wow.
Andrew, any other guesses? Did you have another name?
I was going to guess George Mirasan.
Yeah, he was number 9. Former Thunder player Eton Thomas.
Oh, Eton Thomas.
He was number 10. And then Rick Mahorn, 5. And Purvis Ellison, 6.
Okay.
So
you want to know the real kick in the gut there?
Yeah, what is that?
When I was growing up, Rick Mahorn was one of my all-time favorites.
Wow. Really?
And yet, I didn't think that I thought he was more about, whatever. I'm bitter. I'm bitter and disaffected.
Okay, so you're not out of it, though, because...
But I still love the Slam and Jam.
Good.
God bless all of you.
God bless all of you. All right, Andrew, final question. If you get this right, you win. If you get it wrong, Josh will have a chance to tie the game up and send it into overtime.
Oh, no. Okay.
The final question. Of the 26 two-man lineups that have played at least 150 minutes for the Wizards, only 2 of them are positive. Now, I will say this was prior to the 45-point loss to Boston. Okay. Which Wizard appears in both of those positive two-man lineups? There's only one Wizard who appears in both of those positive two-man lineups. Who is it?
Oh, boy. This is rough. Oh, Al. Do we really want overtime? Because I feel like Josh could get this.
Yes.
I think that Josh could get this. I feel like he could get this.
But I want you to really try to win this. I can't.
I'm trying.
Good.
I'm trying.
Don't throw the game.
Yeah.
No. I will not throw the game.
It would stain the legacy.
I would really want to win. God. Koulibaly.
Andrew? That is correct. And Andrew has won the week 5-3, narrowly edging out Josh Robbins.
Ooh.
You know
Made
what
me
this
sweat,
is like?
Josh.
This is like, well, this is just plain painful. This is like when the Soviet Union would win the men's hockey at the Winter
Yeah.
Olympics. I tried to give your tens of thousands of listeners a 1980 Miracle on Ice moment,
Yeah.
Wow.
or a Villanova over Georgetown in the NCAA tournament moment, but it's not to be. And I would like to congratulate Andrew that I couldn't have lost to a better gentleman. And Alex, what a quiz you just created. What a quiz.
What a quiz.
What a quiz.
What a quiz.
You should be so proud. And I look forward to taking listeners out to dinner in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
And I meant what I said when I said that, and I'm going to follow through.
There we go. Okay. State your case to me in an email. Also, hey Josh, why don't you want to stick around with us, because I usually read our 5-star reviews after the guest is gone, but this one involves you. Would you like to stay?
Ooh.
And like do the Wheel of Fandom with us, and then I'll read the review.
Well, I love you guys, so whatever you.
All right, let's do it.
You guys just to have me around. It's.
I think this has maybe only
beautiful.
happened one other time in Slam and Jam history. I'm trying to remember who it was, but do you remember that, Al?
Here we go. So that, of course, was Wizards Week. We got 2 weeks of the Wizards. Let me make sure they're not still on this, are they? Don't want to get them again. Actually, it would be nice. Wouldn't that be nice, Josh, if after a year of not being on the pod, you got to come back 2 weeks in a
Double
row?
Wizards Week.
I would love to be back. If one of you guys gets like a hangnail and needs someone to sub in, I'm happy to sub in. I'm just happy to be included.
Okay.
Of course.
Happy to be included.
So let's spin the wheel of fandom, find out what team Andrew and I will become fans of for the next week. This week's Wheel of Fandom team will be the Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh man, we actually talked a lot about the Grizz earlier in this one, so
we sure did.
I feel like we're studied up. We're ready for Grizzlies Week and for our guy Keith Parrish to come back on Slam and Jam.
Let's take a gander at who they're playing. Oh, Friday night, Clippers at home.
Oh,
we're interested in
okay.
that.
Yeah.
Sunday, Portland.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be blacked out. Well, because of the TV, not because of drinking. Because I live in Portland. I can't watch the game.
As we said, he's a great family man.
And that's the only 2 games they play.
Yeah, because of the cup, right?
Oh, because of the cup. Of course.
Yep.
Of course.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, we'll take it.
Okay, we will take it. We'll also take all your 5-star reviews. This one comes from our friend Wizards Trash Talker. He says, the Wheel of Fandom shined its countenance upon the Wizards for a double week of games. Andrew and Alex and we acolytes of the Wheel were graced with Wizards wins over the Hawks and Bucks, 2 of our 3 wins all season. Praise be to the Wheel. May it grant us more wins, but not too many, and an Alex Sarr all-star appearance. Why not? Shout out to Josh Robbins and shout out to Matt Moderno. Slam and Jam 5 stars, 5 ever. Thank you so much for that 5-star review.
That individual, whomever she or he is one heck of a writer, and that's the person who should be the beat writer covering the Wizards. Because that individual is articulate, eloquent, and had me on the edge of my seat. That was some good writing.
Somebody else that I need to give a thanks to, Benjamin Miles, made our new drop for the good, the bad, the what, which is voiced by our friend, the L-Man, Luke Stevens, who's on the Friday show of Down to Dunk. And then Benjamin took it from Down to Dunk, like took it from an episode and then turned it into a beautiful drop. So thank you for that. We will be using it this season. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend and the basketball, and we will talk to you guys again next Saturday.